Everybody, welcome to Pulse. I have a special guest for you today. I have my business partner, my best friend, the best guy in the world, Santiago Gutierrez. He is the half part of Pulse. Um, I don't even need to say more. How you doing?
Good, man. I've been wanting to get on this podcast for a long time. Nah, man, it's good, man. Today we're gonna be learning about each other a little bit more. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, actually, okay. So I wanted to kick this off like legit. How do you feel, like personally, in your lifestyle? Like your life's changing right now with this podcast. So how do you feel about that?
Dude. So, I mean, I told you before. You know what I mean? Like, I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time, and it was just more like every time I thought about it, it was just I felt like it wasn't enough. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, if I just do something by myself, it's just gonna be strictly anime. And no hate to the anime podcast that do it, but it's just more like with everyone that I had, everybody there, it just wasn't as in depth as me, and I didn't want that dynamic where it was like it's a very one sided podcast. You know what I mean? And then I mean, shit, man. Then I met you, and you had these ideas, and I was like, you know what? That's something that definitely I can work with and align with, and it was just something that I knew it was gonna pop. So I was like, he had me on board, and man, fuck, dude, everything's been changing. It's been going crazy. Like everything that we've been doing, man, it's been crazy.
Yeah, what are the new ventures that you're getting into, and like how are the people that you're meeting? And does it catch you off guard that you're meeting these highly high celebrity profiles?
Bro, like from the people that we've our shot, dude. Like, and probably never thought in a million years like they would just be so cool and just so eager to just do this with us, man. Like if you guys seen the previous episodes, man, we had Jason Banks, and I've told Albert, and but I started watching Jason Banks during the pandemic, and that's something where it's like for me to meet someone that I followed and just saw it grow, and then one working at the comedy club, him showing up, and then another fact, him agreeing to be on the podcast. That was like starstruck for me. It was just something where it's like, yo, this is something that's tangible for me to meet these people that not just growing. I mean, future people. There's people that I've grown up with that we're not gonna have on this podcast. So it just blows my mind, man. And then these celebrities have been so awesome, and they've been so nice to us. Believing in us and saying that, like, hey, we got a cool spot here.
Yeah, the potentiality, they notice that in us, like they really do, and they want us to thrive.
I know, man. They've been real impressed with like what we've been doing, and I think that has like really like been like eye opening. It's like, you know what, like, man, there's no limit to this, man. If we just keep going and just being us, shit, dude, we got it in the bag.
Oh, it just does it feel like it's falling together too easy?
That's the thing.
Is it scary?
It's a little scary, man, because it's like, as much as everything's been falling into place, man, my fear has always been like, we go on this hill, and then like on the other side of this hill, it's just a straight drop. Yeah, and it's just like everyone's been so supportive. It's like even the little bumps that we've had, people have been like, just keep pushing, just keep going, and it's like seeing them supporting us is just that's what thrives us. Like, let's keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just like, I mean, we can't let down the people that believe in this, man. It's just like, and then of course, they're pushing us, and we're bringing them with us, and it's just, it's so awesome, man. Now we love everyone. Q tier now. Now, but we love our supporters, man, like big time.
Oh yeah, and then how do you feel about like the way these companies are coming together, like in conglomeration with our venture and their ventures, and then everybody's pulling together for San Antonio and stuff like that. How do you feel about that?
Dude, that is something that I've noticed about San Antonio. Like, I grew up in the Valley, Edinburgh, Texas. Like, shout out to them, but never going back. Right? No, like, I mean, in the Valley, it was very family oriented, but when it came to like people growing in businesses, there was a little bit of like jealousy around that. But in San Antonio, you don't see that too much. You know what I mean? Like, with like right now, our sponsors and people that believe in us, they're so vastly different, but they all want to grow and want to support other businesses, and And there's no this of like, oh, hey, if I help them, they're gonna surpass me or anything like that. It's like everybody wants to see each other succeed, and them believing in us in that aspect too. It's like we're all kind of building this new community of like, hey, if you're willing to be good people and support San Antonio, like join us, and it's just gonna keep growing that way.
Yeah, and actually, we're looking into getting into like volunteer work as well.
Yes, man. Like, definitely want to cause I mean, we've said it before many times on this podcast, and then you guys will see it in the other episodes. We're like, oh, we're San Antonio, but we just don't want to be talk. You know what I mean? Like we want to be out there with the people. And it's like volunteering and helping San Antonio. That will show everyone like we're serious about this, and it's not. And it sounds superficial, like oh, we're trying to prove ourselves and like only make it for the views. But no, if we help everybody in San Antonio, they'll show that like, hey, we're not just about the money either. You know what I mean? We're about the city. We're about the people, and you know what I mean. It's like, and we said it before, man. We're not charging people to be on here. You want to support San Antonio, you want to showcase yourself for San Antonio, we'll have you here. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
So, obviously, we're not making money.
Like, I mean, everyone will say like, "Oh, you have a cool setup and everything," but a lot of this stuff is donated to us. You know what I mean? And we appreciate, because I also support San Antonio. Anything we've donated, there is a few stuff that is here, but that's stuff because we like, And then of course the office we found, dude. It's like they've been supporters. Like everyone here in the office on this building. They've been supportive, and shout out to everyone here. We won't give you the addresses because obviously you guys will, bombard us, and you know how famous we are. Nah, I'm saying. Nah, but they've been awesome here, man.
The fact that they're like they're supportive, they're so supportive here, and then that the fact that they're like you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? And we're like, don't tell us that.
Like, it'll go a little too crazy if you guys tell we can have free range of everything, But they've been really supportive, and it's like a lot of the office spaces that we went to, they were nice, and I mean, we could have gone with them, but we felt the vibe here in this place, and it was just the right fit for us. And the other places would have been okay, but there would have been issues that we would have gone through.
So, how did you come up with the idea for the lease space that we have?
Well, for the lease space that we have, and obviously you guys can see it, maybe not all 100%, but it's a nice space for what we got. So for the leasing space, I just felt like, I mean, a lot of podcasts that start, and not bashing other podcasts, like yeah, they have it at their homes, they have it in their,
You trashed mine, yeah, but it was pretty bad.
I mean, you're fixing it up, you know what I mean, because you got it back. I won't tell the full story, but yeah, it was like when I saw that, it was like, but he wants to have these people on here, and it's just like, and for us to showcase San Antonio, we want to give it the best light possible. Yeah. So I was like, if you gave me just a little rein on like maybe give me a shot to like find some places, and then of course I was thinking of like, okay, how would the space look? How would the camera angles look? So I went through all that stuff, and I gave my top 5. Obviously, this was the first one because this is the one I really liked the most. So I wanted to showcase this one first.
And then nothing carried after that.
Nothing after that. Yeah, the other people were nice, and I'm not trying to bash on them that much, but this is a space that for us is like, this will give us the best platform we can do for San Antonio. So
what's your idea like? How does your brain work to where you like you structuralize and then you analyze and you maintain and like just how does your brain work when it comes to that? When coming to Pulse in particular.
When it comes to Pulse, and I'll let the fans know, I'm more of like the business professional, like strategic, like I try to look at it that way. So I'm like behind the scenes, I'm not the fun one right now because of we don't have the crew. So if you meet me in person, I might be a little bit more the boring one because I'm trying to still think of other stuff. So Albert, he's the idea guy right now. And he comes with these crazy ideas, and unfortunately, I have to tell Albert no a lot. You know what I mean? Only because
which I hate.
And it's like, and it's not because of like the idea themselves are bad. It's just more like I can't do that. I can't give that glorious aspect right now. And then of course, unfortunately, the way a lot of stuff are, when it comes to businesses and stuff like that, unfortunately, we have to censor ourselves a little bit to try to form for all that. So hopefully, Patreon, you guys might get some more crazy stuff off of that when we get to that.
Yeah.
To get to that. But yeah, man, I try to think of it more of like a chess play, and that's always been my thing. Like I love strategy, I love puzzles, so it's like I always try to figure out, okay, Albert has this idea, like how can I formulate that into like a 5-step program to like guarantee the professionalism and also maybe monetize that eventually.
Yeah.
You know, so I try to make sure, and then of course I'm learning as I go on this podcast about the rules and regulations and the censorships. So that's the hard part.
Yeah. So how does it pertain to you working with me?
With working with you, man, it's fun, but it's like it's hard because I'm trying to grasp all this stuff that you're trying to do, and then there's some information that get lost. So I'm like, wait, I don't. What are we doing? You know what I mean?
Like that text this morning.
Oh, the text, man.
It made
Yeah,
no sense.
dude, it made no sense. That's why I was like, hey, what does this mean? And you're like, I don't know. I was like, okay, but working with you, man, regardless, like we have the stuff where like unfortunately, yeah, you know what I mean, I have to say no to, but overall, like the ideas and stuff you want to do, it's amazing. So it really puts it into perspective, like, yo, this is gonna like for sure take off because of these ideas. It's just we can't unfortunately have that manpower right now.
Yeah.
Like how these bigger podcasts, and you see these bigger, they do these crazy stuff too, but I mean you can tell they got a whole crew behind them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's just right now it's just us. Officially right now we do have someone pertaining coming onto this as a producer. Once he's officially here for recording, we'll name drop him and we'll give you guys a view. But man, he's awesome. So now Pulse is growing as a company for sure, man.
Growing super fast. It's not. I've said this before. Like we're growing at exponential rates. It's totally crazy. So
Yeah, man, and our dynamic is always we bounce each other off real good, man. Especially on camera, off camera, we're always like bouncing off stuff, and you know, that dynamic for sure is what really attracted me to like continue this journey, or in general start this journey. Definitely, you know.
because I know in particular, like I was actually ready for you, and I wrote down a bunch of notes in my interview that I was going to do with you,
Yeah.
and like we ended up talking for 2.5 hours, just BSing, you know what I mean? And it was just too easy. So I was like, dude, like this has to be like it has to be something, you know what I mean? And the fact that you put your faith in me and my ideas, you know what I mean, means a lot. Like no joke, dude.
Of course, man. Like it was something that I saw, and it was just like, you know, it was something that I had to jump on as a leap of faith, only because it was like, you know what, like life is too short, man. Like it is too short. I'm 29, I'm about to be 30. So okay, for the younger gens, right? I'm old. But it was like it's at this point in my stage, it's like, you know what, I need to try, at least do what I love for sure. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, you know what, this guy has a lot of stuff that's in line with what I want to do. So it's like, why not? Let's go ahead and let's do this thing.
Yeah. And then out of our initial conversation, it was like 30, 40 minutes of like anime
Yeah.
that we talked about. You know what I mean? Because you were like catching me up onto stuff that I was ignorant about. You know what I mean? Or just the lack of knowledge. And I was like, you got me intrigued again. You know what I mean? Like you brought me back to anime, which I wasn't gone, but it was like I was like lackluster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, with anime, it's like if you fall off, with this thing, anime is easy to fall off. You know what I mean? Because like, oh, okay, I left at a good point. I'll cut back later, and it's something where it's like, you know what, you kind of forget about sometimes. But I got you in a rabbit hole with One Piece. That was the one I was like, yeah. So One Piece fans, we got another one. But I mean,
I didn't want to too. I was super hesitant.
But man, like, yeah, man, anime has always been something that I really loved. And it was something that I definitely want to always like support in the background, and eventually, you know, I mean, even bring it up a little bit more now that San Antonio's for sure growing more its anime scene.
And then, how do you feel about the conventions that are coming up that we're gonna do?
Yeah, man, the conventions.
How do you feel, honestly? Are you nervous?
I'm nervous because like I want to do it justice, man.
Right.
I want to do it justice, especially since the guy I want probably only because this is probably gonna be air out after our Animal Hero Con convention, but we'll probably keep partnering up with them and support them. But it's like those ones where it's like, oh, how much are you gonna charge me, or like, oh, are you put me in a bad light? I never want to put conventions or anyone on our podcast in a bad light. No, never, never. That's not what we're about. We're not gonna hear slander stuff like that. But I'm super nervous, man, because I mean these conventions are a lot of people that I grew up with, and so it's like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be starstruck, or like, how am I gonna sound in front of them and think, you know, like, am I saying something wrong? And you know, anime people will attack you if you say something wrong, like that's totally incorrect. Actually,
You got your information wrong, sir.
I'm sorry I didn't read the manga. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited, but super nervous. Yeah.
Hey, to be honest, I am too. I am totally too. But we're trying to pull in all of our future guests. They're gonna be there at the con as well. So we're gonna start doing cons as well, conventions. So come by and join our booths, like seriously, and then like and subscribe, of course.
Yeah, definitely, man. We'll always, and hopefully. I mean, hopefully we never get too big headed for our fans. You know what I mean?
I already got a big head. I can't help it. My mom made me this way.
But if you see me talking Sofia Vergara, mind your business. Nah, nah. Happily married.
We're gonna be fighting for her attention.
But nah, man, we definitely want everyone as much as possible to come to our booth. Not because we want our booth to be like the most packed one. It's we want to talk to you guys. We want to see like, hey, how are you enjoying this? You know what I mean? It's good feedback for us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's definitely what we want. Obviously, you know, we can't please everybody, but you know what I mean? We definitely want to keep it good for everybody in general.
Well, in actuality, bad feedback is good feedback as well.
Oh yes, man. Like if you guys tell us like, hey man, these camera angles are kind of distracting, or like you know what, they're not as good, or we like the original one, let us know. You know what I mean? We'll listen. We'll try a few things out. We'll be test and error all the time with us. You know, we want to grow and we want to make sure the experience is good for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. So, I guess kind of segue. Um, you're you've been working for LOL for quite some time.
Yes.
And can you tell me, like, I can't even say briefly because
Right.
there's so much information.
Well, with the LOL, I started working with them. It's about about a year and a couple months now. So, I mean, I passed that milestone definitely because
Nobody does it.
the turnover, at least for the door, right? It's been for that. But I started working with them because I went back to school. I wasn't working. I was only doing school. But man, like I got a little bored. So I was like, you know what? Let me look for something that will work with my schedule. And then work. And I saw an ad for LOL. I never thought to like work at a comedy club. I've always seen comedy. I've always loved comedy scenes. I mean, even when I was little, I might have like considered like, oh, maybe I'd be a comic. But you know what I mean? I worked at the door and instantly fell in love with it, man. Like once you see the behind the scenes stuff that you do, it's so cool. It's like eye opening. Like, you look peeking behind the curtain, like honestly, and then meeting these celebrities on like not just as a fan waiting in line to see them, but in person and just speaking to them like as a normal person sitting at a table. It's so crazy to see a lot of these guys and their stories and what they, because they don't put a lot of their stuff like out on their special. They kind of formulate comedy into it. But just talking to them normally, just casually, is a whole other experience. And then seeing a lot of these guys that I grew up with on top of that, like you're talking about, like, I mean, say what you want to say, but I grew up on Carlos Mencia, you know what I mean? I grew up on Chingo Bling, you know, D.L. Hughley, you know what I mean? Like all these cats that are coming by and just seeing them in person. Big hitters.
Huge names.
Dude, and then I mean, even some of the movie people that you see that went into movies, they still do some comedy stuff, like T.J. Miller from Deadpool, you know what I mean, Transformers movies, and I mean the Booger from Mucinex, right? Like, dude, like, like T.J. Miller was so cool, and then you're seeing then Howie Mandel, you know what I mean, and then seeing all these people, rocks. We had Roseanne come by, so it's like seeing these people that were in movies and TV shows. It's just crazy, man. I love it there.
Man, and then on top of that, now you're doing the fucking podcast,
Dude, I know, and
and
then it's like, I mean,
and then now you have them in your studio.
dude, it's crazy. I would have never thought having like Chingo Bling, like, or Jason Banks, you know what I mean, like on the podcast, or Ralph Barboza. You guys need to see that episode. It's so dope, man. Like, you know, and it's not always here in the studio. We try to like accommodate and showcase them. I mean, Ralph Barboza, we had to get him in Austin because, you know, he was so busy here in San Antonio. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, he couldn't do it for us here, but it was still an awesome experience to see. And it's kind of more casual, you know what I mean? Shooting the shit with him.
Sure, and I actually like that idea, that premise is like, rather than being like a whole showcase, like here, like a horse and pony kind of bullshit, you know what I mean? Like fuck that, you know what I mean? These are natural, regular people,
Yeah.
and it's just a great idea and great just
man.
the way that we can accommodate them and or we can just talk to them in general is like a blessing, dude. Like just like that emoji with the head blowing up.
Oh, yeah.
That's me like every day, to be honest.
Yeah, man, because it's like, even though we knew we had a cool idea, we just didn't expect it to be like that. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, it's like we're doing stuff that a lot of podcasters are doing that are already getting paid big money to do. You know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, we're not getting paid really anything right now, but we have the content that these big podcasts have, and right now we're slow rolling our followers. Like and subscribe. We'll keep throwing it out there, guys, because the more you guys do, the more, if we do make money, we can bring more content to you guys. Yeah. I mean, it's so horrible to say, but money does bring content. So unfortunately, that's just the way the world works. But man, just with what we're doing right now, it's amazing, dude. It's just,
Can you imagine if we had the revenue to venture out and then do with a production company, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm not a part of the company. I'm just a guest, you know what I mean?
but yeah, man, if we just had that same background with like other ones that have, I mean, dude, I mean, imagine the shit we'd be doing. Yeah, we would definitely try to always like blow it up for you guys, you know. And then, I mean, I grew up in the valley. I've said it before, so it's like this is something where it's like I never thought growing up that I would definitely do.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? It's crazy, man.
Yeah. So how are you enjoying the ride so far? Because this is actually a initial question because it's gonna get better. Can you imagine?
Dude, the ride that it's been, like,
So far.
and I mean, I don't want to complain because it's like it's been a blessing, but man, like you know how I was stressing about editing. Like, if you know, in the beginning, the first couple episodes, right now it's been me. The future ones, you'll see the different, like the uptake in quality because our producer right now, he's freaking amazing.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, man, it's gonna go right now. If you're calling the editing that I've been doing is Kaioken times 2, and then it's gonna go Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan God. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but yeah, in the beginning I was a little stressed because I was learning everything. But dude, it was worth it to enjoy this ride, and it's just been like stellar. It's been amazing, and then man, just imagining right now like the progression that we're gonna go in now. Yeah. It's like, dude, I can't imagine. Like, it's like we were on a roller coaster with seatbelts. We're enjoying the ride, and now it's gonna be a roller coaster without seatbelts. So it's gonna go crazy. Just flee. The Muppets. The Kermit emoji. Or a little gif. But man, I'm excited, dude. I'm excited, and I can't wait for it. Definitely.
Yeah, you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it so bad.
Yeah, the stuff that we get to do is like not even.
Dude, yes, man. And it's like right now you've been doing the brunt of the grunt work, the leg work, and then in the marketing and talking to people. And like now that I can start doing it myself a little bit more, we're gonna just have so much more going from everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. to the stuff that you like, the stuff that I like, and the in between stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be shucks on it.
And the matter of fact, as a matter of fact, is like we're also looking forward to, like, there's no intermediate, like there's only transgression when it comes to our podcast, like, because we're always trying to learn, we're always trying to prevail, we're always trying to succeed. You know what I mean? But it's not in that sense that, like, we need, recognition to us. It's more so that we represent other people. And yeah, if we're on that line or on that railroad, then hey, so be it. I mean, we deserve it. You know what I mean? But do you think that this is a job?
Man, like when you say a job, man, it's like first the job pays you. Nah, nah, man, like I really don't, man. I come enjoying every experience with this podcast. Like, I love the whole going out trying to grab people. I love the part that when we come in here and we record, and then, dude, I've been enjoying the edit. Like, I've learned to all this editing stuff, and I've been really enjoying it. And now I might pursue it as an education. So it's like it's really showcased stuff that I've loved and really put stuff in perspective. And dude, I come in here excited every time to record, man. Every time I'm excited to come in and record, and just seeing the, like you said, it's not the recognition, but like seeing other people enjoy what we're putting out too. It just means like, damn, it's like it feels good to see other people enjoy it. Yeah. And it's more enjoying the product, not like, oh, they enjoy me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they just enjoy the show.
It's not like TikTok, you know what I mean? Like, just look at me. Look, look at me.
I mean, if I can booty shake, I would. You're bringing them views.
Clap, 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 clap.
You got no idea. But man, it's something where I just enjoy every time coming in here, man. It's just something where it's like, man, I wish we guys can like even blow it up quicker for you guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, like we want to just jump for it, you know?
It's not necessarily for like for money. It's just
man. Yeah. We just need the money to do more stuff for you guys. Yeah, it's really what it is.
Yeah. Sure, I understand.
Yeah, and I mean, if it makes money, it makes money.
So, like, had better equipment and stuff like that, then we can put it back into the company and then just make it better.
Exactly, you know what I mean? Upgrading stuff and making the office space more big. I mean, maybe you guys can't tell, but I mean, in comparison to probably to other podcasts, like, it's smaller. But I mean, there's been guests that we've had to like really compromise with because, man, we only have these 2 chairs for guests. I mean, there's guests that there's like, there's like 5, 8 people. You know what I mean? That'd be a cool episode, don't get me wrong. But it's like, we just can't fit everybody in here.
Right. So you're going to give your plugs or no? Because I know you're very private.
Yeah, usually I am a pretty private person on social media. If you guys do look me up, I'll do a plug. I'll be probably selective still. It's at Espirito Santi _Ago.
Such a cool name. Who came up with that?
So that came up. My wife came up with it because she was showing me this video of like the church, like where he goes, "Dum en nombre de Padre y Espíritu Santo." You know what I mean? And it's like, and then we're making fun of it too because at first it was this show called Vikings. You know what I mean? And then the guy, the priest on the show on the Vikings, he's going, Corpus Christi, Corpus. I'm over here like, why the hell is he saying Corpus Christi?
That's what you were living at.
Exactly. So, but it never clicked to me because I wasn't part of that culture, that religion. And then she showed me that, and I'm just like, oh, that's funny. So before, and I would just make fun and be like at home and like, I'm blessing you with this Espiritu Santi. You know what I mean? So she told me like, hey, give me your phone. I'm gonna do something on your Instagram that's gonna be super funny. And then that's when she changed my name to Espiritu Santi _Ago. I was like, oh, that is so dope. But yeah, you guys can follow me there. I don't really have a lot of content now because I've been really busy with like school editing and stuff. But now the editing.
Also, you're very private.
I'm also very private. I'm very pretty selective of who I put on my Instagram. But if I see your following posts, which is at posts _LLC. I'll probably be a little bit more lenient. You know what I mean? You're supporting them. That means you're coming to see me. So I'll be still slightly selective, but I mean, I'll be excited to see people supporting this and then seeing who I'm about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but it'll still be selective content. So.
What about your Facebook and Instagram, TikTok? Well, you said Instagram, but
Yeah,
your TikTok.
so on Facebook, I mean, you can find me just as Santiago Gutierrez. On TikTok, the same thing. It'll be at Santiago Gutierrez. I don't think there's extra stuff on it or anything like that. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments that I'm like, hey, that's not how you are on Facebook. I'm like, I'm sorry. I usually don't really care. I usually don't check stuff like that.
And then your main YouTube webpage, what is it?
Oh, the main YouTube page, since I really don't have one myself, it's gonna be at Pulse Otaku Gaijin. That's the YouTube channel for this show, and that's pretty much the only one I use. I don't have my own YouTube channel because I don't know. I felt weird having a YouTube channel and me not doing nothing with it. You know what I mean? It felt weird. But hey, man, once we start getting bigger, we might do our own little skits and content on the side, and then hopefully you guys enjoy it. What we do outside of this podcast, and then you guys can see the podcast as well. So just extra content for you guys.
That's actually, yeah. And then maybe look forward to Patreon as well.
Yeah. I mean, see the booty shaking there.
Hey, banana hammock, banana hammock.
Hey guys, co-owner here for Pulse. So today, right now, we're gonna have a very special guest, a great friend of mine, one of my best, and also one that like you just cannot copy, man. Like this guy right here is one of a kind. The ideas that just come out of this guy's head is like simply amazing. So let's give it up for Albert here.
Yay! I'm gonna clap to myself or pat on the back.
Man, but dude, so just tell me how you feel about this whole experience right now with this podcast. Like, how what is it meant for you? You know?
Dude, I feel so blessed. I feel so amazingly blessed. I can't even put it into words. Like the amount of stuff that we're doing, um, it's just like who can say they do what we do? You know what I mean? Who can say that they meet who we meet? You know what I mean? Like it's just exponentially just different. You know what I mean? And then the fact that this just came off of an idea was just amazing, amazing. And then like living this lifestyle, um, I don't feel like I deserve it to be honest.
Yeah. No, I get you, man. Like, there's been times where it's like, man, who are we? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that just shows that, like, we're not in it just for being selfish.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. And I've always known you, man, to be like someone who's like willing to like help others. You know what I mean? So where did that come from? Like always wanting to help.
I guess that would be from growing up poor. Growing up poor and then like wishing that you could help other people even though you don't have the capability to help other people. I would say that's where it came from. Like I just really want to help others, you know what I mean? And then like I said, I mean, if I don't have the capability, then I'm gonna at least I have a body. You know what I mean? I can use my body to help work. You know what I mean? Something like that. I'll give you something like that. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a few kidneys on the black market, it's all good.
I don't know if my kidneys are good enough.
But and you were saying like there was this thing that you just said right now. It's like the capability. You know what I mean? Like not we don't really come from like extravagant backgrounds or anything like that. But now that we're doing this, and then there's these opportunities have opened up for you to go see things or see people. Like, how do you feel about those like experiences?
Just humbled, just humbled to the greatness. Like, um, it just it like again it blows my mind. You know what I mean? Like, to be treated like a famous person or like VIP or like given stuff for free and stuff like that. Like, and then meeting all these amazing people. That's my most favorite thing. We've met so many nice people that it's like I don't feel worthy, to be honest. Like it's so amazing, this whole thing. And then for the fact that it's such a short uh period of time in which we've progressed is unbeknownst to me. It's just nuts, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And then also like being on here and recording all this stuff, it pretty much kind of makes it last a long time. It's a memory for us too. You know what I mean? It's like we get to have these experiences and always look back and rewatch them. You know, so it's like you seeing that and then giving that platform for other people. You've had opportunities to go and see stuff like behind the scenes. You know, can you show us or tell us a little bit about those experiences?
I was actually offered a VIP pass to Ralph Barboza when he was in Austin, and being a door guy at Laugh Out Loud Comedy Club, and then going to Austin to park in the front, and then I mean sit front center stage, and then go in the green room is like it's crazy to me because that's what we would do at the comedy show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so me being that like on that level of prestige is like I don't and I know it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like meeting all these people that their business is already thriving, and the fact that we're getting able to get free stuff from them or like getting to bring them on the podcast and they're so appreciative. Like it's crazy, dude. It's so nuts. It's so early bird.
Early Bird, man, great episode. You guys need to definitely check it out. They're like one of the best, nicest people on top of that. And then, of course, you know, like their coffee is just simply another level.
Horchata.
Oh man, but
But it's just I just want to just reiterate like the just getting to experience all this stuff in such a short period of time is I don't deserve it.
but see, but that's something where it's like we feel that way, but it also brings us joy seeing us giving that experience, not for just ourselves, but for our fans, and then letting these people, businesses, and like local artists showcase themselves too is just what gives us that level of like, oh, we don't deserve this, but I mean, but they do, you know what I mean? And that's kind of something like why we started all
Do
this.
you feel that it helps like us like going through the back door and be like, look, this is the lifestyle that we're having and we'd like to bring you along. You know what I mean? Or like the people that are watching, you know what I mean? This is what we're doing. And I mean, like, is it inspirational to you at all?
I mean, I would think it would be more inspirational for people that like, hey, you know, these guys are doing this for their hometown, you know, and then maybe a bit that you guys reflect a little bit about y'all's hometown if you're not watching from San Antonio, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, kind of, you know, appreciate your area. You know, what I mean, what's unique about your area, and that's something I wanted to ask you because you for sure were San Antonio based. Yeah,
Yes.
so it's like, what about San Antonio for you growing up here and seeing that? What made it special for you?
The specialness would be definitely the fact that everybody helps each other out. Like I don't even care what your color is. I don't care what you've done.
Purple. If you're purple, don't subscribe. Not play.
Or blue. Da do dee da do da. No, yeah, that's the main thing. And then too, a lot of people just help out. Like there's this app called Nextdoor, and like I help out as well. I'll just go to some neighbor's yard, and I'll just if I have the gas, I'll mow the yard for free. You know what I mean? And that's just how San Antonio is. And then on top of that, it's very peaceful. Compared to other cities, where there's a lot of gang violence and stuff like I don't even know if that exists to be honest anymore. You don't hear about it too much, but um, it's just everybody's always willing to help out, you know. Yeah, and I love that about San Antonio. Also, what I love about San Antonio is that it's such a tight knit community. Well, I mean, it is big, but
It doesn't feel like one like those big metropolitan cities.
you know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah, definitely with San Antonio. When I mean, I've worked in Houston, I've seen L.A., Seattle, and Dallas. Like you can see, like it's just all that cityness. You know what I mean? Like the dense city. But here in San Antonio, even though we have a big area, it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't. So especially since, and like you said, you grew up here, and then you grew up a little bit more like street. You know what I mean from your background. So what made you get into being like a skater or like the street artistry? Like,
I've always just been myself. I've always been myself. Regardless, I don't care where I'm at. I know I'm gonna get ridiculed for it, but I've always been myself. I would
what intrigued you about the like skating and that stuff? What intrigued you about it?
yeah, I got effed with a lot, a whole lot. Yeah, so needless to say, I've talked about it in other podcasts that I've got into at least over 100 fights. And that's just sticking up for myself, to be honest. I've never. Okay, I have picked fights, yes, some, and there's a handful, if that. But for the most part, it was either me sticking up for myself or it was always sticking up for others. You know what I mean? Like if they were getting bullied, I didn't like that because I saw myself in that situation. You know what I mean? So I was like, nah. Yeah. Matter of fact, there was a guy that was he picked some kid up. He was a yellow bone. I don't know if that's proper. I don't know. Well, he picked him up. He had him on the lockers, and he was trying to steal his money. And matter of fact, this guy was the quarterback for my football team. So I saw that, and then I turned him around. I slammed him on the locker, and then I put my elbow on his throat.
Oh, you were able to reach?
Actually, actually,
Hey.
actually, no. And then I remember, I didn't catch this till after I left, but I looked up at him and I was like pointing at him like this, and I was like, pick on somebody your own size. And I definitely was not his size.
Oh man. See, like situations like that, man. That's something where it's like, unfortunately, it does happen a lot.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, so if you guys see something, say something. I mean, teachers right now are obviously stressed, with how everything's going. But everyone needs to kind of just like get together, kind of support a little bit with that. But you yourself, man, I know your taste in music is so broad, but you still like particularly leaned a little bit more towards your rock, you know what I mean? But you just recently had an experience where you had to see behind the scenes a little bit of that too.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Okay, so there's a local metal band called Darkness Emerged, and they invited me to go to the show, right? So I can go there, and again, the whole VIP kind of status, you know what I mean? I can go behind the scenes, I can go on stage, I can shoot in front of people. If there's a pit going on, don't touch me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you do, you're treading on thin ice. So I went the other night and just had an amazing night. The fact that the level of musician, like the level of the musicians now here in San Antonio, I was very surprised. Because back in the day, it was like, yeah, like 90s kind of wonk wonk, like it was just chords, you know what I mean? But now they're doing like solos and stuff like that, and they're doing like 30-second rolls and stuff like that with one hand. I think they're called like shadow rolls or something like that. I'm not a drummer. I'm a bass player. Yeah, but even at that, the bass players were slapping.
Okay.
Yeah, getting down with metal.
Yeah.
And dude, I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. You know what I
Where
mean?
was this at?
That was at Bonds 007.
Oh,
But actually, it's a dope place because on the first floor, it's a bar, right?
okay.
And then you pay on the side. And it looks kind of sketchy, but you go up, and then you sit on the top floor, which is a theater. Which is like a stage,
Yeah.
right? And then all these bands will play, whatever, and it's predominantly metal. From what I know, I don't know everything about that place,
Yeah.
but dude, I had a blast, like no joke. And then it was cool because I haven't been to a metal show in a long time, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's been many years. You know what I mean? I think the last one that I went to was like.
Hey, careful now. We might be going back centuries here. Let's go. Let's give it
Be careful now.
They don't play that music around here.
I think I think it was Ice Nine Kills was the last one. If not Motionless in White, that was the last one I went to. But that was like at an arena. But like to see a up close in person show.
Like a very local, like.
Yes, because back in the day when I used to go, when I first started going, I was about 10 years old, and it was at the White Rabbit. And the White Rabbit transition, they got bought out by the Paper Tiger, right? And now it's all kinds of different genres of music and stuff like that. But I've always been a metalhead. I've always been a metalhead. But I did say in the podcast before, my family came here as musicians from Mexico as jazz musicians.
See, that's such a wild one because, like, you won't think, like, oh, people come from Mexico for jazz.
I know.
Yeah, you're thinking more like mariachi or like that means like.
Unta, unta, unta,
Like that's what I would think. Like, oh, people were like always coming, but that's such a different thing, jazz. You know what I mean?
know,
Like,
right?
did you know how that started, or it was just more that's something you just knew? No, they told you.
No, 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 no. So they were classically trained by other jazz musicians in Mexico. So there apparently was, yeah, it was a scene. Yeah. So then when I started playing music, it was like you have to learn jazz. If you want to consider yourself a musician, you have to understand jazz. And then now I get it because it teaches you the whole structure of like the way music is put together and why it sounds the way it does and like blues, like why does blues sound like blues and why is it considered blues, you know? Classical, why is it considered classical? Because there's a whole structure behind it, you know what I mean? But there's it's a whole other language, you know what I mean, when you play music. So like going to see that band uh was just refreshing. It was so refreshing, dude. Like I had such a blast. But I will say it kind of sucked because um, I wanted to get in the pit, and I'm like, you 40 ass, you 40-year-old ass, you're gonna get fucked up.
In the walkers. You gonna get
And then I was trying to be professional because I was filming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was like, no, what if I get hurt and then I can't film?
Yeah.
Whatever.
There was always that balance, right, between enjoying what we're doing and being professional.
Yes.
There's that little fine line of like, okay, we're geeking out too much, or we're going saying too much that's unprofessional, versus like, okay, we're professional. We're trying to put a platform. We're trying to show them, showcase them, like because some business want don't, and I get it. There's some businesses don't want to associate with certain things because like that's just not their vibe. So we're always trying to tread like how do you want to showcase yourself, and we always so each episode is always catered a little bit towards who we have.
Yeah.
So it's not always the same structure for everything.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like now you got to understand the way socialism works. Like you can't do certain things that you could do like in the 90s and the 80s and stuff like that. So now you have to be apprehensive, you know what I mean, about those certain things. So it's like now coming into this podcast, uh, it trying to learn
Mm-hmm.
is a different venue. You know what I mean? Rather than just being myself, because me myself,
We can get rowdy. Uh, rowdy. You should see how we spoon.
we're all aggressive. Like I grab his beard and everything. Like, wow.
Oh man, but it's like, yeah, dude. It's like it's sometimes we're just like why do we have to like do certain things and now we gotta edit certain things and it's just like that. I know that for you was the hardest part going into this because it's like as much as you like I know all these stuff that you want to do like and they sound great but then it's like then we're like we're like we're like dang it we're like this might get us canceled, this might us get in trouble, so it's just like now finding different avenues to like do things. It's tough, man. For sure. But have you like you with your friends and family? Have you when they hear you doing a podcast or doing it like do you get any like positive feedback or you're getting a little bit of negative feedback or how's it been dynamic for you?
You know, to be honest, I'm a little pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little pissed because like my brother and my mother, they listen, they like and subscribe, right? But like for the most part, the people don't like and subscribe. And
They debut, and then they
yes,
just kind of like,
exactly.
yeah, I get you.
Yeah, yeah. So I have family members that are like and I'll straight up tell them like, hey, don't watch episode 1, or don't watch episode
Yeah.
like 9 or 10 or whatever. You know what I mean? Because it clashes with their theories or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's just like we do everything. We want to learn everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really places us apart is that it's not a specific genre. Like we do all kinds of things, and if we don't know, then we're gonna learn.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
know what I mean? Like just because we don't know something, it's like, oh no, we're not gonna have it on the podcast. Like nah, we had it with an amazing guest, for the Seeing Grace. We learned a lot. You know what I mean? So like some of these will be more educational than anything. You know what I mean? Like we're not trying to stay in a box. Same thing with our fans. You know, we don't want you guys staying in a box. You want learn, grow. You know what I mean? So,
Just like Alter Tattoo Studios, that's very very intellectual. There's so much information that you're not going to hear about when you go to get a tattoo. So I would definitely recommend that. Also, Southtown Barbers, very professional, very 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 professional. Like I can't even stress how they put so much effort into what they do
yeah.
every time they do it. And I'm not talking about like just here and there. No, anything that they do, and including us. So,
Yeah, man, like those are two sponsors that we have that are just amazing and helping us grow. So anytime you guys see us out there too, what I mean, we'll probably have either they'll be with us or we'll have stuff that's part of them. These are two great entrepreneurial companies, man. Like they are something that everybody will learn from. Like just talking to them is just an amazing thing.
yeah, no joke.
So you meeting people like that, how's that helped you, man?
Actually, it's helped me as a person. To surround yourself with better individuals, people that are better than you. Because those people are obviously solidified and they're just growing. So, is that what you want, or do you want to live like a scumbag? Then surround yourself with scumbags. You know what I mean? No, I choose not. I'm only gonna do upper tier, upper echelon type of people around me. You know what I mean? From now on, and I learned that the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to gangbang and you want to do stuff like that, hey, I mean that's the way you're gonna live. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. You know what I'm saying? So, mm-mm.
Yeah, no, man. Like and it's so true with that. The quote says it's like if you want to be something, surround yourself with people with like-minded concepts. You know what I mean? But I think we do that so sporadically in a sense of like not our whole group isn't the same styles or genres. You know what I mean? But they have that same mindset of growth.
Yes.
So it's like, but we learn so much for having that diversity. And for me, it's been a blessing, having all these people around us and supportive. And then now, well, you've been in talk with some local artists, man. How's that been going?
That's so cool, man. I mean, just throwing your name out there, and just like, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? If it latches, then so be it.
Yeah.
You know, if it doesn't, then so be it. I mean, it's just not supposed to work that way. You know what I mean? So, um, I really have an eye for certain artistries, and I've always had that eye, to be honest. Like, the stuff that's relevant now, like skateboarding and music and art and tattoos, and I've liked this stuff since I was 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then even fashion and stuff like that. And now it's starting to kick off. So it's like maybe I was thinking about stuff in pretense, but actually in the future. You know what I mean? Like, and then it came to fruition. You know what I mean? So maybe I have an eye for something. You know what I mean? So like just like this podcast. You know what I mean? I had an eye for it, and then you're the one that fine tuned it, of course, and made it to be. I mean, this would not be here without you.
Shit, man. Nah, but those ideas that you've always had and continue to have, it really does showcase that you're someone to pretty not just like respect but fear, man. You got that drive that's just like what I mean. Like we're gonna get shit done.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if it's at 9 a.m., if it's at 2 p.m., if it's at 1 a.m., this guy is one of the hardest workers, man. Like this guy, I've had to stop him. He's calling me at 2 in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, but he's always hustling, and that's something that I greatly respect. But I'll tell you guys right now, I cannot sleep on 3 hours. You get a grumpy Santiago on this podcast if I only get 3 hours of sleep.
And I'm ready to go.
He's ready to go, man. This guy is someone who's like drive is like unmatched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Appreciate that.
Oh man, of course. You know what I mean? So it's something that with the way you've grown up, man, I can see the drive in you. You know what I mean? And just happy to be part of all this, man, in general, with you. So now, all that said, man, how was it having your mom on this podcast?
That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, she was chill.
Actually, she was very chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was very chill because there's many more stories. Many, 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 many. Yeah, but she was happy to be on here, and then the fact that we were to publicate her was like actually kind of cool. You know what I mean? Because she's already getting up in age. You know what I mean? So that gives her a little limelight.
Yeah.
It's if she passes, you know what I mean? She's got limelight, and then like future or not future. Yeah, yeah. Actually, future generations can actually see her.
Yeah.
And hear her. You know what I mean? And that means a lot.
Yeah, man. Like definitely, you got that memory of her, of like her being part of this, and the dream that this is becoming. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something that's just awesome, man. I love that episode. That episode was so fun, man. So if you guys haven't seen it, it's the episode, I think, like, what, six, right? It was titled Episode 6, Albert's Mom, and, it's such a funny episode to watch, man. Yeah. So you guys definitely need to watch that.
It's funny, too, because it kind of showcases me and my history and how I grew up and stuff like that. But it's also funny too to see the dynamic in which my mother, I, and Santiago act. So it's not an act; it's just actual. To be honest, yeah.
Yeah, man, I loved it. It was so much, man. Like we only did an hour, but man, I can tell like she had a lot in the chamber, man. She was ready to go. Oh man. But man, I appreciate it, man, for being a guest. And you want to do little plugs?
Yeah. Follow me at Albert R. Fernandez, and then Ergodyne5 on TikTok. That's ERGODYNE 5, the number 5 at that's my handle. And then follow me on Pulse Otaku Gaijin. That's PULSE space Otaku. That's OTAKU space Gaijin is GAIJIN. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching Pulse.
Yeah, man.
This,
Likes and subscribes, definitely.
this is my Mr. Big Spoon.
This is my little Mr. Tiny Spoon here. So thank you guys for watching, man.